So who would have thought this at the start of the tournament? We have the Dutch and the English, that's right, duking it out for a spot of glory, or at least semi-glory, as they get closer to a final. Who's going to come out on top? Is it the Dutch? Is it the English? Is it coming home? We're going to get into it. All of it next. That's right, folks, back once again with another preview video. Today we're previewing the semi-final between Orange, and that is the Dutch, up against English and the Three Lions, who of course will get their shot at glory in a second. We'll get into it just a second. Big shout out to the VIPs, they are the patrons, you know who you are. And again, if you're new, where have you been? Smash your subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for Euro 2024 is right here under one Ruski. Of course, the Dutch were really kind of kicked into gear in these knockout stages, take care of business against the Romanians, and of course Turkey is some absolute thrilling style. The English, though, they've got all the gear, no idea, but they're here and they're still, of course, very much a threat to go the distance. Just like the French, they've not really clicked into gear, but they've got all the parts and very much the personnel to really be classed as the best in Europe. But will they deliver on the grand stage? Of course, and that is this semi-final. We'll get into that, of course, right now. Let's, of course, preview the game. It is the Dutch, it is the English, and of course, it's coming at you very, very soon. So soon, I believe. I don't know. We'll have to look at the date in a minute. It's this coming Wednesday, I believe. Anyway, the Dutch qualify as Group B runners-up. They qualified on the 18th of November, 2023. They've been here 10 times in the past. They did win it back in 1988. Koeman, the manager, can he go, of course, get himself a bit of glory, bit of accolade for his mother nation there of Holland? Well, the star man was meant to be Xavi Simons, but of course it's been Cody Gakpo ripping up trees and getting goals. They were in Group D with their odds 11-4 to win this group, 5-1 on to qualify, and 16-1 to win the whole thing. Of course, they're in this, and they are, I think, they're third favourites right now behind the Spanish and the French. My expectation was quarterfinal berth. Well, of course, they've made that, and of course, they've taken that and have gone a little bit further. Of course, this is their resume so far. 2-1 win opening day against the Poles to put them in a good spot in the group. They followed up with a 0-0 draw against La France, and then they kind of hit the skids where they lost to Austria in what was an absolute thriller. They've been involved in some thrilling games. The first two were a bit of a damp squib. They lost to Austria in a thriller. They bounced back in convincing style with a 3-0 win over Romania, and then, of course, they took out Turkey with a last gasp sort of winner in that game to set up this clash against the English for a spot in the final. Of course, the Dutch finishing in third. You would never have thought that at the start of this tournament. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the key players. For the Dutch, of course, Van Bruggen, the youngest keeper within the tournament, with likes of De Ligt, Van Dijk, Ake, of course, Frimpong, Dumfries, Simons, of course, Reijers. We've got Woodworkhorst, Depay, but Gakpo's been the main man to deliver the goals when they've needed the most. Of course, when they needed a goal, up he steps, and he's delivered when, of course, it's mattered. So the key personnel for this match, I believe, will look a little bit like this. We've got Van Bruggen, Ake, Van Dijk, De Ligt, Dumfries, Simons, Ronaldo, Reijers, Gakpo, Depay, and Frimpong in my 11. It might not look anything like that, but of course, standing in the way will be the English and the Three Lions. Of course, they think it's coming home. It could still be coming home. Of course, they qualified as Group C winners. They secured the spot on the 17th of October 2023. Been here 10 times in the past. Gareth Southgate, the manager for the time being. Jude Bellingham, the star man, you would still put him in that bracket. Group C was their venue, of course, 5-2 on to win the group, 25-1 on to qualify, and to win the whole thing 10-3. They were favourites for a long time, and of course yet to really kick into gear throughout the tournament. We'll see in a second. My expectation was a semi-final finish for England. They're at this point now. They are very well in this, very much in this. And just like the French, they're just probably a game away from showing the world what they're all about. These has been their resume so far. 1-0 win over Serbia opening day. Followed that up with a draw against the Danes, and then another draw against Slovenia. Not great, not fantastic, but they topped the group in the end. They followed that up with a 2-1 win over Slovakia and a 1-1 draw against the Swiss. It's not been, it's not been a challenging group when you look at it on paper. Definitely the weaker side of the bracket, favourable for England, favourable for the Dutch, but this is going to be a real clash of the Titans somewhat, as both England and Netherlands can be considered in that top 8 bracket of European heavyweights, I would imagine. Now these are the players that England have been selected. Of course, the likes of Pickford between the sticks. We have Stones, Trippier, Trent in there, Jude, Eze, Cole Palmer, Harry Kane, Saka, of course, the hero last time around. But what about the star 11 for this match? Well, we're going to look a little bit like this, I think. Well, yeah, we're going to go with this. I think it's pretty much similar from the Swiss game, a back 3 or a back 5, depending on how you look at it. We've got Pickford between the sticks. We have Konza, Stones, Walker, Saka on the left, Cole Palmer, Maino, Rice, Foden, Kane, and Bellingham. That was my pick. I know they didn't. They opted for. I think it was Trippier was on the right instead of Cole Palmer. But I think I think mine works. Definitely is worth a shout. Anyways, take a look at the match itself then, shall we? Of course, coming at you the BVB Stadium over in Dortmund, of course, on the 10th of July. It is the Koeman's Netherlands. It's Southgate's England. Now, they've played each other 10 times since 1988. 4 wins for the Dutch, 2 wins for the English, and 4 draws. So traditionally, favours the orange this game. But coming into this, the Dutch on 75% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 6. The English on 67% form for them, also 1 defeat in the last 6. Most recently, these two sides did play each other in the Nations League semi-final. That was back in June 2019. The Dutch came out on top with a 3-1 win. In fact, the Dutch have won 3 of the last 4, with England's most recent match against the most recent victory was back in March 2018 in the Dutchlands, and a friendly, of course. But what about the bookies' odds on this one? Well, the bookies got 21-10 for the Dutch, 31-20 is your English. Very quite fine margins in the bookies' odds on this one. 90-10 is the draw. Well, the public vote is a little split and is very much heavily backed here, with 45% going with England, 55% going with the Dutch. Now, I've not been shy about saying my not disdain or disgust, but preference for not liking England. It's true. I'm a German. I'm a Scot, and I was there when Scotland got eliminated. I was there when the Germans got eliminated, yeah, I know the English fans were very vocal about their joy in those occasions, and I have been expecting England to be getting eliminated in the Swiss game for sure, but this game is definitely a difficult one. I think the Dutch have clicked into top gear. I think the English have yet to click into top gear. And if I'm going to be completely honest with you, if both teams were playing at their full best, 100% best, it's going to be one winner in this one, and that will be the English. I think they've definitely got the players. However, what comes with England and the country and the football team is a little bit of arrogance, a little bit of cockiness, a little bit of they feel they have the right to be there in the final on this one. And I really want to say that the Dutch are going to win this one. But the Dutch have been fantastic past a couple of games. They look really good. It's going to be tight. It is going to be tight. But unfortunately, I just think England are going to get there sometime. And I think they will peak here. I think they'll peak a 2-0 win. I think they'll edge it against the Dutch. We might see a goal from Kane. We might see a goal from Bellingham. I think they'll just be too good in the end defensively, and take this to the house. They'll go to the final. That's right. I think England will go to the final. As much as I don't want to see it, I think it will happen. As I've said, I'm not saying they're going to win the thing, but I think they will get a little bit closer, and they might start to convince me that they are the best in Europe with a performance against the Dutch to set themselves up, which will be, regardless of whether they will play in the final with the French or the Spanish, is a chance for them to actually prove that they are the best currently in Europe. That's my take. That's my thoughts. Get in there, involved in the comments, subscribe, smash the like. We'll be back for the final, whether it's the Dutch, whether it's the English. I hope I'm wrong. Hope it's the Dutch, but I believe it will be the English. But until then, we're done.